Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a game I am very proud of because although I feel like I've figured out how to beat Zerg, uh, Terran and Protoss, definitely no guarantees playing against them. In fact, lately I've been getting trounced a lot by such players, and I'm playing against a good Terran player in this game, and I'm finally able to pull off a W. And sometimes it just takes a lot of failure to learn what to do right. I posted an earlier video where I did a 1-1-1 build and felt pretty strong about that. Um, Except that stopped working eventually, and I've had to learn to adjust. And one thing I know for sure, if you're Terran and you're playing Terran, you want to build tight. Unless they nuke you, and they never do, you're going to want all your buildings tight because you don't want siege tanks coming up to any overhang area, to your front door. You don't want them rolling up to your base either, but by the time any siege tanks get made, I'll have one too, and it will be right here. So this will save you against drops. This will save you against siege tanks. It will save you against, one time I got I think I got scouted, and he knew what I was doing, but still he was unable to send a large enough force of infantry to deal with the early siege tank. So I recommend getting the siege tank as fast as possible, and then just Marines if you're playing Terran. Just get Marines and siege tanks, because when you've got siege tanks, it's pointless. Pretty pointless. Almost always pointless. Unless you have just swarms of Marines. In the early game, Marauders are not very effective when you've got siege tanks. You might as well be shooting them with a siege tank if you've got gas and you want to use it. You can get some shields, but I would not even get stim early against Terran. You might want to do a drop, but if you do, I think the strategy would defeat you, because we'll have siege tanks around our main, and an early drops I think are the strength of Terran. They're so unpredictable. You never know where they're gonna be, what's gonna happen with them. Anyway, I'm just trying to scout, find out where his base is. I haven't scouted yet because I don't really care what he's building. I like to try to build builds where it doesn't really matter what he's doing. I know that's not going to work probably eventually, but this guy's ranked higher than I am. I'm really surprised he decided to go ahead and build at the front door. I think he was going for a quick expo, and he was going to block off here. I don't think he expected me to attack so early, but Terran versus Terran, I mean, you got to be prepared for an early siege tank push. It happens all the time. And so one thing that always makes me happy but also a little bit concerned is when you run your scout in their front door and you're playing Terran versus Terran, and you don't get hit by a siege tank. You see he's got a tank. He just started researching it. So it concerns me because I wonder if he's making a Banshee. It makes me happy because I think I can maybe attack him with my tanks and win. So you'll see him making a starport. I used to do a tech lab, try to do a 1-1-1 in Banshee. Instead, I do 2 barracks and just make 2 Vikings at a time. This is really the lesson I had to learn the hard way, is that you have to make a lot of Vikings. You just have to, because whoever owns the air is going to own the siege tank battle. It's just a fact. And whoever wins the siege tank battle is going to win the game. Now, you do need a balance. You need some siege tanks, but early game, if you have more Vikings, if you have more siege tanks, and the Marines you want the Marines and not the Marauders because they can shoot air. There's a Banshee that comes along. And I scouted this command center earlier, so I knew it was coming. If you look at my vision, what I can see, I knew it was coming, so I thought, okay, I'll just wait for that thing to pop down, and if it doesn't pop down in a couple minutes, then I'll know something's up. Maybe he expanded over here, over here, and I also was going to test his front again to see if he had any siege tanks yet. And he does have siege tanks developed, but he doesn't have them sieged up. Doesn't really matter. He doesn't know I'm out here. It's always my worst fear as a Terran is come outside and oh my goodness, look what's out there. This is why it's so important to have the air, because you don't want their siege tanks to be outranging yours. And I mean, it was just terrible micro on his part. I don't know what he was thinking. Let's see what he was looking at here. He might have misclicked. He might have thought I just had one tank. I think he thought I just had like one tank. Or you know what he was doing? He was moving out his army. Oh. He was moving out his army to defend his expansion. He didn't even know I was there. He wasn't trying, well, I'm not sure. Let's look at it one more time. Yeah, he didn't know I was there. He was just going out there to expand. This is what I usually do. I send out my forces when I expand. He didn't A-click apparently, or if he did A-click, no, he was not A-clicking. He did not even remotely expect this to be out here. And when he sees it, he doesn't stop. Maybe he felt like it was too late. Wow. Well, no wonder that battle seemed to go so well. He kind of misclicked there, but you do want to send out like one troop, almost always, if you're Terran, before you send out everybody else. You just want to send out one troop, because it's just not worth losing your entire army over. If you just send in your whole army, you never know when you might run into a bunch of siege tanks. And the Vikings are so helpful. Look at that. I did not even mean to make that Marauder. I don't know where he came from. I don't know how I even created that unit. No, not intentional. I had set my factory. I think I hear the starport. I'm not sure. I didn't set the rally point correctly. You see, I still have some tanks here. Well, just one tank. I guess I wasn't really doing a good job building units while I was fighting. I've got tons of minerals at least. I was making some marines, but sometimes one thing I fall into is if I'm winning the game, I will stop making units. Terrible idea, because the game can turn around so quickly. But anyway, this was I think a good example of owning the air and owning the ground, even though he kind of misclicked. This is really the strategy you need to do if you want to win this Terran, and not building in up here. That's a mistake, I think, in Terran versus Terran. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day.